I think it's one of the most underrated films of the 1980s, so it kind of has an appropriate title, and it's The Hidden. This sci-fi horror action film kicks all kinds of ass and has awesome practical effects. But I know that some of you are out there saying, wait, isn't this a failure to launch? But no, as overlooked as I think the original is, there's actually a sequel. Some say that it wasn't released and that it escaped. So you may not have known that there was a follow-up, but you're about to find out if it has a timeline. We start playing peekaboo back in 1987 with The Hidden, directed by Jack Shoulder, who I think most people know from Freddy's Revenge, and it begins with a pretty brazen bank robbery with a guy in a Lamborghini, and he listens to cassettes, so we're probably in the 80s. And Hank Jennings leads the police on a chase through the streets of Los Angeles, and take a look at this. I mean, I know it's the 80s here, but there is never this little traffic in this part of town. Michael Nouri is a cop who helps take the bad dude out, and they do so in a pretty crazy manner. Like, he's unarmed, shot up, and smiles at you, so you shoot him a few more times and blow up the car. Nothing excessive there. He survives and they take him to the hospital, and Beck's boss is Bert, and he gets teamed up with FBI agent Dale Cooper from the House Atreides, and he's looking for Jack. Meanwhile, in the hospital, a big-ass bug thing pops out of his mouth and jumps inside Jonathan Miller here. His paperwork has dates of March of '87, so we're seemingly in real time, and Concrete Blonde's self-titled debut album is out, which dropped in '86, so it's definitely after that, and he turns on some country music.
I believe in sunshine, even through the rain. I believe in happiness when I'm going through the pain.
Same. He's having issues with his body though, and he makes that thing or Pumpkinhead sound. And we get a report on a guy from a car purchase he just made, and it listed as 10/87, giving us an official date. This is October of '87, and they get a lever on the forklift, or a Chekhov's flamethrower. And we meet Beck's family, and his daughter seems to have some sort of connection to Lloyd. And Miller heads to a strip club where Commander Ivanova works, and he switches into her body, which she, I guess, uses to bone a guy to death? The car she's in has a plate that expires in September of '87, but the guy who owned it was sleazy, so I guess it makes sense that it's expired, and they shoot her up pretty good. And it seems like they need to get the bug thing out of the host in order to kill it. And it also turns out that Gallagher is an imposter, not an agent, and the bug's in a dog now, but switches to a police officer. Gallagher reveals that they're after an alien switching bodies, and that he's an alien as well, and has been hunting his foe for the past 9 years. And Lin Shaye pops in as well. The alien decides he wants to jump in a presidential candidate, and I'm pretty sure that he shoots this guy in the dick, which is like, I mean, what did he even do to deserve that, movie? Come on. Danny Trejo shows up for about 2 seconds to get shot, and
Bye.
it switches into Beck's partner, who then shoots him and manages to get into the senator. Gallagher shows up at a speech with the damn flamethrower, getting all shot up, but burns the guy, who pops out and is destroyed. Unfortunately, Beck doesn't make it, so Gallagher switches into him, but he's not a big bug and is instead a beam of light. It took a solid 6 years to make a sequel, and in 1994 there was the simply titled The Hidden 2. And this one went straight to video and was written and directed by Seth Pinsker, and this remains his only feature film. Although it was released in '94, it did get a release in Japan almost a year earlier in '93. It starts with a prologue that's 15 years ago and recaps the first film from the point of view of Gallagher, giving a report concerned about the alien spawning and requesting backup. The first 10 minutes are just the last 10 minutes of the first film, because I guess they thought we forgot what happened, although now we see a dog get infected from a piece of the alien, so it survived the ending of the last one. But then we're back to old footage. The dog gives birth to a bunch of egg sacs, and man, more old footage. We're 15 minutes into this movie, and only about 2 of them are new footage. We then jump ahead 15 years, so we're in 2002, then 8 years ahead of when the film was released, and Beck's face has deteriorated, mainly because he's been recast. The alien, now looking pretty different, takes a new host, and there's a license plate here that expires of May of 1994, so this guy had better get that taken care of. Gallagher Beck finds the new dude and fights him, so what was the alien doing for 15 years in this factory? Just hanging out and waiting? Beck dies and little Juliet appears, now an adult, and she doesn't recognize her dad, but hey, neither do we. And then the backup arrives in the form of McLaughlin. Get it? And they team up to hunt the alien's deadly spawn. He explains they stay in hibernation until the conditions are just right, explaining what it had been doing all that time, but I guess that means that the right conditions were just a dude setting up a rave. And one of the spawn destroys his alien gun. They get Beck's old gun and destroy a bunch of the spawn and end up doing the business, and I don't know if this was an error or not, but I think it is. But the bad alien drives down this road and realizes he has a gun and is bleeding, and when we cut back, he's now driving the opposite way on the same road. They never showed him turn around or anything, and the next time we see him, he's in another part of town. So I guess they just had this footage of him driving. We find out that the good aliens will turn evil if they stay long enough on Earth, although this guy's been here for like 10 minutes, whereas Beck was here for 15 years, and he still seemed okay, so I don't know why it's happening so fast with Mac here. They have a final face-off in a factory because all action films in the 90s were contractually obligated to take place in an old factory, and then they blow up the buggy one. But there's another left. But they get him too, but rather than stay and become corrupted, McLaughlin leaves, ending the series. So there you have it. It's just 2 movies, one of which is fantastic. It's a great movie, and the second one, which is okay. It's fine. It's really pretty unessential, but I do love the first one. If you've not seen the first one, I recommend watching it. It's a blast. It's really cool. It'll please the action film lover in you as well as the sci-fi fan, and there's definitely some horror stuff with that effects. There's some really cool creature effects in that one that I like. That whole hospital bug in the mouth scene, I remember, was the cover of a Fangoria that will always stick with me. It's pretty cool stuff. So check that out. If you've seen these, if you love these, let me know down below in the comments. If you have any fun nostalgia for it. If you've seen the sequel or didn't even know there was a sequel, let me know that down below there as well too. But of course, if you like the video, please also hit the like button. If you enjoy what you see and you want to see more like this, click on that subscribe button, hit the bell if you want notifications, and if you think about it, please check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/movietimelines. You can go there and help support this channel. These guys do, and I thank them for it. Thank you guys, you're very awesome, and I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Keep on watching those, and I'll see you very shortly for another great one. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.